Have you ever finished a long chat with a friend and felt like a huge weight has been lifted off your shoulders? Or maybe you've vented about a tough day at work and suddenly, things don't seem so bad. There's a powerful, almost magical reason for this, and it's backed by science. It all comes down to a concept called the 8-minute rule. No, it's not about how long you should microwave your leftovers. It is about a fascinating discovery in the world of social psychology and neuroscience that explains why simply talking for about 8 minutes can significantly improve our mood and mental state. So, what exactly is this 8-minute rule? The idea was popularized by research from Dr. Matthias Mell, a social psychologist at the University of Arizona. He and his team wanted to understand the link between our conversations and our well. They used a special device to record snippets of people's daily conversations and then analyze them. What they found was remarkable. People who engaged in more substantive, meaningful conversations reported higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. And the sweet spot for these mood-boosting chats, it often centered around the 8-minute mark. It's not just about the length of time, though. It's about what happens in our brains and bodies during those 8 minutes. When we start talking about something that's on our mind, especially if it's a problem or a source of stress, our brain kicks into high gear. In the first few minutes, we're often just offloading. We're getting the surface-level stuff out. This is the venting phase. It feels good, sure. But the real magic happens next. As we continue talking, we move beyond just stating the problem. We start to organize our thoughts. Think of your brain like a messy room. When you're stressed or overwhelmed, it's like clothes are thrown everywhere. Books are piled up, and you can't find anything. The first few minutes of talking are like picking things up off the floor, but as you approach that 8-minute mark, you start actually putting things away. You're not just describing the mess anymore. You're starting to create order. Your brain begins to process the information in a more structured way. This is known as cognitive reappraisal. You start seeing the problem from different angles. You might say something like, and then I realized maybe it wasn't about me, or thinking about it now, I could have handled that differently. This shift in perspective is incredibly powerful for reducing negative emotions. Neurologically, something amazing is happening too. When we talk to someone we trust and feel heard, our brain releases oxytocin. You've probably heard of it as the love hormone or cuddle chemical. Oxytocin promotes feelings of trust, bonding, and safety. It counteracts the effects of cortisol, the stress hormone that floods our system when we're anxious or upset. So, as you're sharing your thoughts, your brain is literally getting a chemical hug that calms your nervous system down. This process takes a little bit of time to get going, which is why a quick 1-minute complaint doesn't have the same effect as a sustained 8-minute conversation. Furthermore, the act of putting our feelings into words, a process called affect labeling, is a powerful tool. A study from UCLA showed that when people verbalize their negative emotions, the activity in their amygdala, the brain's fear and anxiety center, actually decreases. At the same time, activity increases in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational thinking and impulse control. So, by simply saying, I feel really anxious about this presentation, you're handing the reins from your emotional brain to your logical brain. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The scary shadows become identifiable objects, and you can figure out how to navigate around them. This transition from feeling to thinking is a crucial step that often happens several minutes into a conversation. But who you talk to matters, right? Absolutely. The 8-minute rule works best when you're talking to an empathetic listener. This doesn't mean they need to solve your problem. In fact, sometimes the best listeners don't offer any advice at all. They just listen. They provide what psychologists call unconditional positive regard. They create a safe space where you can be vulnerable without fear of judgment. They nod. They say, I understand, or that sounds really tough. This validation is like water for a thirsty plant. It tells our brain, you're not alone in this. Your feelings are valid. This sense of connection is a fundamental human need, and fulfilling it through conversation is one of the most effective ways to boost our mental well-being. Let's break down the timeline of a typical 8-minute therapeutic conversation. Minutes 1, 2, 3 are usually the emotional dump. This is where you might be talking fast, feeling agitated, and just getting the raw emotions out. It's the storm before the calm. Minutes 4 to 6 are where the processing begins. Your pace might slow down. You start connecting the dots and analyzing the situation. This is where you might have those aha moments. You're not just reacting anymore, you're reflecting. Then, minutes 7 and 8 are often where resolution or acceptance starts to form. You might not have solved the entire problem, but you've likely reached a new understanding or a sense of peace with it. You might start talking about next steps, or simply feel a sense of relief and clarity. So, How can we apply this in our own lives? Be intentional about creating space for these kinds of conversations. When a friend says, "Have you got a minute?" Try to give them 10, if you can. And when you're the one who needs to talk, don't feel guilty about taking up someone's time. Frame it as, "Hey, I've got something on my mind. Would you be free to chat for a bit?" You don't need to say, "I need exactly 8 minutes of your time." It's about fostering a culture of deeper connection. It's also important to practice being a good listener for others. Put your phone away. Make eye contact. Resist the urge to immediately jump in with solutions. Your goal isn't to be a hero who fixes everything. It's to be a safe harbor where someone can process their thoughts. Ask open-ended questions like, "How did that make you feel?" Or "What's on your mind about that?" This encourages them to go deeper, to move past the surface-level venting and into that more productive, reflective space. This principle doesn't just apply to friends and family. It's the foundation of why therapy is so effective. A therapy session is essentially a structured, safe space for you to have these 8-minute and longer conversations on a regular basis with a trained professional who is an expert in empathetic listening and guiding cognitive But we can create mini therapeutic moments in our everyday lives. That phone call with your mom, the coffee break with a coworker, the chat with your partner at the end of the day, these are all opportunities to tap into the power of the 8-minute rule. The next time you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or just a bit down, remember this: find someone you trust and just start talking. Give yourself permission to take that time to explore your thoughts without judgment. You might be surprised at how much better you feel after just 8 minutes. It's a simple, free, and incredibly effective tool for managing our mental and emotional health. It reminds us that, at our core, we are social creatures who heal and thrive through connection. Thank you so much for watching. If you've ever experienced that feeling of relief after a good talk, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. And if you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more insights into the psychology of a happier life. Take care, and remember to make time for those meaningful conversations.